Check the mic and make sure it sound right, boys.
Hey, Sean, how's it going this Thursday?
It's going good. Getting closer to the weekend with even more sports, even though we've had enough during the week so far. It's been good.
It's been good. Hey, before we get rolling on the regular stuff today, I got to say that we want to thank, at least I do, I know Sean does too, all the veterans out there, those that are watching us, those who may see us in the future. As the only, it's funny, Sean, I think I'm like the only guy in my family that did not serve in the military. My brother did, my father did, my grandfather did. And I would have if the recruiter were just a little bit more thoughtful, because I actually wanted to fly the jets off the airplanes. I mean, the jets off the jets off the boats as a kid. That was like my goal. So I graduated like on a Thursday. The following Monday, I went into the recruiter's office in the Stroud Mall in Stroudsburg, Pennsylvania, if any of you know where that is. And when you first walked in, it was in their little closet to the left-hand side. I told him, I want to fly the planes off the boat. He went through my scores and said, son, you can do anything you want in the military. Then, so I was going to go to Wilkes-Barre. Lamar over 237 passing yards. Ooh, that'll be a close one. We'll get to that in a minute. Ravens -6. I would say Ravens -6 for sure. But I told him I want to fly the planes off the boat, Sean. And he says to me, before I'm ready to go to Wilkes-Barre, Scranton, where in case you didn't know, that's where Joe Biden's from, Scranton. He was there for like 6 months, I think. But anyway, I said, yeah, sure. He said, one last question before you go. He goes, do you have 20/20 vision? I said, no, sir. I have it with both eyes open, but if I close my one eye, I have a lazy eye, I don't have 20/20 vision. He said, son, you can't fly a plane in the U.S. Uncle Sam's Army. I said, well, I want to fly in the Navy anyway. But he says, you can't do it without 20/20 vision. And then I said, well, if they're both open, why can't I do it? He said, if you get shot in one eye, if you get shot in the good eye, then you won't have 20/20 vision. I was like, with all due respect, sir, if I get shot in the good eye, the back of my brain's going to go with it. So I don't think I'm going to be able to see out of either eye at that point. So then he wanted me to come in. And so instead of putting me on an airplane, he wanted me to come in and be a nuclear submarine operator. So think about that. I want to fly a plane. He wants to stick me in the tube in the water. And I was just like, no, dude.
Completely opposite.
Yeah. I was just like, no. So if he would have said you could fly, I didn't know this at the time, but I found out later on, you could fly helicopters, right? Or if he just said, hey, look, take a look at this video. You want to be a Navy SEAL or something like that, something aggressive, I'd be like, all right, fine. Maybe I'll try that. But I'm definitely not going to go in the tube, in the water, 1,000 feet below. And all I would think about the entire time is, hell, if something happens, I ain't getting out of here. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That would have been brutal. But he's like, no, you work for 6 months and you get 6 months off. I'm like, dude, I don't care. You stick me under that water for 6 minutes, I'm going to have the claustrophobia fit that you can't imagine.
Yeah.
But in any case, it's not about me. It's about you folks. So again, happy Veterans Day to everybody. Hopefully Sean and I can do our part today and pick something that stuff your pocket full of cash as our form of thanks. What do you say, Sean?
Absolutely.
So if you want to do that for sure, then I don't know. Sean's been doing all right lately. You don't want to fade, right?
Yeah, I know. I've been trying to turn it around. But I wasn't going to mention that because every time I mention about turning it around, I turn it around again.
Turn around every now and then. Yeah, my brother does that, Drew. He flies helicopters. In fact, he just got out of the military. He's now flying cargo planes all across the world. But he actually was teaching kids down in Florida, I think Whiting, Florida, like the trick pilot stuff down there in the airplanes. So, yeah, I guess I'm the only one not to serve in the military. I apologize. I should have done it. Probably should have been like Rambo. I think that would have been great, right?
Yeah.
Anyway, off to the football game, Sean. And you got Lamar Jackson heading down to Miami. They have no idea who's going to start quarterback. The coach said if the game were on Tuesday, Tua wouldn't have played. Well, bro, they never play on Tuesday, so I don't know why that was even an issue. But so anyway, Tua might play. If not, Jacoby Brissett. Either way, that offense is kind of stymied. It's not the most dynamic of offense, no matter who you put in there at quarterback. Maybe they ought to consider Ryan Fitzpatrick again. And word is he might be back soon too. But in any case, Sean, this line's going up, and away. And it started at, I think, 6.5. Then it went to 7. Then it went to 7.5. Then it went to 8. Now it's at 8.5. You could still get 7.5 somewhere, Sean. I think 7 is the right number, though.
Yeah, honestly, probably doesn't matter. I think they win this game by double digits. I was actually trying to look for the stat. I saw it this morning. I didn't take a screenshot of it. Harbaugh's like 8-0 or something like that. Career versus Miami against cover. That's just covering the spread. That's not even winning. That's covering the spread.
Oh,
so
Teddy Bridgewater like.
Yeah, so I think he does it again.
He must
Baltimore.
hate Miami.
And
maybe he got spurned down there, like in that what's it called, South Beach, when he was a youngster. Maybe some starlet was like, "Who are you?"
I'm pretty sure it was 7-0 or 8-0 career, and it was all against the spread, and they've covered every time with him as the head coach. So I think they do it again. Yeah, no,
gambler's fallacy.
I mean, I'd imagine Brissett's probably the starter here. He puts up okay numbers. They just don't do anything with him. So
what are you saying? You're going to do it or you're not going to do it? You're
I'm going to do it.
Here.
No. I'm not going to do it. Baltimore wins this game by double digits. So give me whatever the line is here. -8.
So you got 7.5. You can do 7.5 for -107. That's a pretty good line right there.
Yeah, so I'll take that.
He'll do that for sure. Me, I'm not going to play that game. I feel like 7 is the right number. The total in this game, Sean, is 45.5 to 46.5. Are you going to double dip?
No, I'm not. And these midweek games, these Thursday games, it's so hard with the total. And, lately, maybe it's a trend all the time, and I'm just catching on it. You get those low ones like Pittsburgh and Chicago on Monday, and it's only 40, so you should go up. The ones that should be high scoring, you get these over 54s, you should go really do the opposite and go below. But this one's right in the middle, and I really don't. I don't want to say either way. I mean, this may be one, if you're going to do it, I wouldn't do it, but Baltimore over Miami under that type of deal, whatever you feel more confident in.
Well, I have them coming in at 50. That's not enough for me to make a play, but that game would go over. As far as the total offense is concerned, Drew, I do make these crazy spreadsheets. What was that total number? I have the Ravens throwing for 254 yards, the Dolphins throwing for 276, where the Baltimore is going to dominate this game as I have them for running for more than 170 yards. Probably most of that's going to be Lamar Jackson, although it looks like maybe Devontae Freeman's running fairly well. Le'Veon Bell, a couple good runs in there, but he doesn't have any juice in his legs. The Dolphins' run game, you could just about forget about it. I have him coming in at 84 yards. So what was that number on
his passing was 237.
So I have him coming in, Drew, at 254. So you got 17 yards there.
My concern with Jackson going over 237 is if this game's a blowout, like I'm kind of projecting, he's not going to need to.
They still throw the ball.
Yeah, he may get it, in the beginning, but then they're not going to have to throw it much in the second half or the fourth quarter. So those are my concerns with those kind of stats, especially a guy that doesn't want to throw the ball. They'd rather run the ball.
Yeah, I still think they're going to throw the ball. I wouldn't be surprised if he's almost there by halftime, to be honest with you. And then in the second half, they run. But as far as the money is concerned in that game, Sean, the Ravens are taking in almost 80% of the tickets, but only about 55 cents on the dollar. So there are people that are starting to watch that, which is kind of nutty to me because the line is going up, up, up. So that indicates that the money is the money should be coming in on the Ravens. So the money should be out of balance in favor of the Ravens.
That's
but
why
not.
That's every time I see that kind of stuff, I'm like, how accurate are these numbers that they're saying? Because the spread's telling you one thing and their numbers are telling you the other thing.
Happens all the time. It's called the square sucker bet, Sean. They keep raising that number because people are willing to pay anything for the Ravens because somewhere along the line they read a stat that Harbaugh is undefeated against them against the spread.
Yeah.
So you weren't the only one to see that get tweeted out by some bookie at Vegas that's going, can't wait to cash all these suckers' money.
Yeah.
But for me, I feel like the number 7. That's where I have the game coming in. So I would need a much different line. I would need the Baltimore to be favored only by 4 to bet Baltimore. And I would need the Dolphins to get around 10 to 11 for me to bet them. So I'm giving you a little bit of hint of what it is that I look for. So I'm going to pass on that game. The next spot on our calendar here, Sean, is college football, We have North Carolina versus Pittsburgh. This is your ball of wax right here. Thursday night football to compete against Thursday night football. The Tar Heels on the road against the Panthers are getting 6.5 points, and they may be as much as 7, depending upon where you're willing to go. Are you willing to make a play on this game, Sean?
I am.
Oh, my God. You bet everything.
Not as far as the spread, but I feel like maybe we'll go back to what we did yesterday, where I go over, you go under because of such a high number.
I'm not going to touch this
No.
one.
Pittsburgh's offense, I mean, they average like 45 points per game. North Carolina's defense is horrible.
So you're going to bet the over for Pittsburgh?
Yeah. Oh, no, I'm betting over the whole game. North Carolina's offense is pretty good, too, and Pittsburgh's defense ain't all that great. So I'm going over. It's like 71.5.
72 for minus 110.
Yeah, I'm going to do that. Pittsburgh should put up at least another 40 spot, and North Carolina's going to score in this game as well. So it should be a back-and-forth affair.
Yeah, I have them coming in slightly under. I have them scoring 70 points, which is right on that number. And then as far as the game is concerned, I have North Carolina covering. But again, only covering by like 2 points. The total is going to be close. So I've got to pass on that too, Sean, because I'm going to be very disciplined going forward. I was looking at our guy, Bill Krackerberger, running through his timeline on Twitter, just reading some of his advice, and he's right. He says you can't bet everything. You got to just really stick to a game or two that you like and then go with it. But as far as the bets are concerned, Sean, most of the tickets are on Pittsburgh, but a majority, so 2/3 of the tickets are on Pittsburgh. 2/3 of the dollars are on the Tar Heels. As far as the total is concerned, most of the tickets are following you, and most of the money is going under 72, but not by much, by a couple pennies. So it's a 50-50 prospect according to the money.
When I was looking at this line this morning, I was thinking to myself, if I can get North Carolina plus a touchdown, I'd probably go there because Pittsburgh, they score a lot of points and stuff, but they're not one to blow out teams. But then looking at how bad North Carolina's defense is, I've watched a lot of their games where they just give up a ton of points, and I got scared the other way. So the one thing that I can go with here is just the over.
You know what they say, Sean, about scared money?
Yeah.
Scared money don't make no money.
You know what's funny? And Drew just brought up about that Bulls money being money last night, and we all won on that.
Maybe we should only bet games that all three of us agree on.
Yeah, there we go. And you're saying about Bill Krackerberger. I can't tell you how many times, though, when you do that and you're confident in one or two bets, those one or two bets loses, and the 4 or 5 that you had in your mind are the ones that win. That's what scares me off about doing that.
Okay. I don't know, Sean, because I noticed that, I don't know. I just feel like if dig a little deeper, you might be able to separate one from the other.
And the other thing, Drew said he hit on Northern Colorado. Remember when I did the Northern Colorado was giving up a point to Pacific? They won by 2. That's why my noise was like that. I knew it was going to be a close game. But good thing Drew was on the positive side of that.
Well, that's what we hope for, right? Everybody makes a little bit of money, stuff their pockets full of cash. Toronto, the Raptors, heading off to your town, Sean. They're in your neighborhood. Face the 76ers. 76ers are a 4-point favorite at home. And the Sixers don't really lose at home very much, though. The last game against Milwaukee, they were in the game till the end of the game. Then Milwaukee decided to turn on the Jets, and then they smoked them and covered. So I had them in a parlay, actually, with the Clippers that night. So this game, I don't like. I do like part of this game, but I don't like who's winning or losing side.
Yeah, I mean, the Sixers still have a limited roster here. But Toronto's not very good on the road. And
they haven't been very good either. I think you could just end the sentence right there.
Yeah, I mean, I think they started off well, and now they've just kind of not played very well. So I'm leaning the Sixers giving up the points, but not making it official.
Well, most of the folks agree with you, Sean, because about 3/4 of the money is on the Sixers, but a little bit more than 50% of the tickets. Where the game gets some play, the total here is 211.5, Sean. Right? Let's see. I got the wrong one in here. It's moved up. Yeah, 211.5. 211, 210, whatever. Half a point's not going to make a difference. I have the game going considerably under that number, Sean. I have the game coming in under 200 points, so that's enough of a window for me to go ahead and make my first play of the evening, one of just a handful. I'm going to go ahead and take the Philadelphia 76ers Toronto game under even though that line is creeping up a little bit, which scares me. But I'm going to go under 211 for minus 110, Sean.
Okay. Yeah, I was actually thinking you would go the other way. Usually when it's that low, you want to go the over, but
sometimes it depends. I have them scoring 198. Philadelphia winning 105 to 93. So we'll see how that plays out. That's the name of the game, right? We're gambling. But I went ahead and did the work and looked at it. And between the two teams, the Toronto squad sometimes have some really bad nights in terms of offense. And so can the Sixers. So we'll see. Hopefully, they both have a really bad night. The one thing I hate about the under, is that you're always kind of measuring time, right? Because there's a line in the sand, and when they start getting close, particularly at the end of the game, you don't want it to be close. You want one team to be up by like 10 because you don't want them fouling. And then you can usually factor right around 4 points, maybe 4.5 points a minute between the two teams. But in that last minute and a half to 2 minutes, that number can swell to like 10, 12 points in a minute because of the free throws. And if the other team's hitting their threes, forget about it.
Sometimes, although if it's a one-possession game, it's not bad because a lot of times they'll use almost the whole shot clock and they'll really be playing defense. So sometimes it works the other way too. If you can keep that a one-possession game where you're not getting the fouls in there, and they're
that's
playing.
That's what I hope for.
Yeah.
What I'm really hoping for is both teams come out and score like 10 points in the first quarter, and it doesn't really matter what happens from there unless they go to overtime. But Indiana and Utah. Indiana's going to Utah. The Jazz are going to give the Indiana team a 10.5-point head start, Sean. Is that enough for them, Indiana, to get to the finish line and cover the spread, or do you think the Jazz will overcome that?
No, I think the Jazz blow them out here, and I will take the Jazz. Wish I would have got them earlier. I think it was like 8. I mean, this is another line that just keeps creeping up. But
it looks like the Jazz line opened up at 10.5, so maybe it did creep down a little bit, but it's right back to where it opened.
Okay, yeah. On FanDuel or DraftKings, it was single digits earlier. Indiana played last night. I mean, they lost to
They were on the road.
Denver. They lost to Denver without the Joker. Yeah, so I mean, and now they got to come back and play a really good team in Utah. I will take Utah and give up the points.
You're going to take Utah. I do have Utah covering this game, winning by 15. Well, 15, Sean. That would make you a winner, but it's not enough points for me. It is enough points, but I'm looking for things in the simulator right now, this early in the season, that are hitting over 8, that simulate at 80%. I don't know that they've necessarily actually hit at that, but that's a 70%er. So that's right on there. Looking at the total, it's an actual 50-50 coming in at 216. 215 and a half, 216 and a half, depending upon what number you want. It's actually 50-50 in the simulator that they go over or under. As far as the money is concerned, Sean, the Pacers, the Jazz are taking in 2/3 of the money, the tickets, but only about 55 cents on the dollar. Most people believe the tickets are about 50-50 on the actual total, but about 75 cents on the dollar is backing the over here, Sean. I have it at 50-50, so maybe the people have some inside information that I don't have. Miami is going to be minus Jimmy Butler. He's still in the hallway looking for the Joker. And then they lost last night to the Lakers. So how do you lose to the Lakers? And then you have to face the Clippers the next night, Sean. And the Clippers are they opened up at 6, but that line has moved to 5, just like the line was last night, but in reverse, with Miami getting 5 instead of giving 5. Will that 10-point swing in the line be enough for you to go ahead and take Miami?
No, I'm going to lean the Clippers. I'm not going to make it official, but like you said, Miami's going the other way. They were without Butler. Clippers are actually starting to figure it out, being shorthanded. And then also, I will give out that FanDuel has Paul George and Reggie Jackson each score 20-plus points at plus 230. I think that has a good shot tonight.
Are you going to do it?
Yeah, if I can do that, I will do that. I'll put $20 on that.
On the show?
Yeah.
All right, go ahead and do that. 20 and 20. The only problem is the Reggie Jackson, sometimes I watch him play. That guy can make a brick house quick.
Sometimes 3 out of his last 4, he's hit 20 or more, and Paul George has hit, I think, every game but like 1 or 2. Mm-hmm. So it really comes down to Reggie Jackson if he does it. But
get Paul George out of the bubble, he can play ball, right? In the bubble, he didn't want to play, so that's for sure. I almost feel like Miami is overvalued. They got that big blowout of Milwaukee early on in the season, and it feels like everybody thought, wow, and they never really came off of that. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. they're really. I mean, even you said about the Lakers. I mean, they were up like 7 points with 6 or 7 minutes left, and then they blew it for overtime. So, yeah, it's.
Well, all the money and all the tickets are back in the Clippers, Sean. About 70% of the tickets, more than 80% of the money. As far as the total is concerned, most of the tickets and most of the money is on the over. Drew says he's going to go ahead and do some hockey tonight, Sean. He's jumping ahead, and he's taking the Edmonton Oilers on the money line at plus 120. You got anything that you like in hockey today?
I do not have anything in hockey.
I promise you I'm close. I was working on my Excel spreadsheet today for NHL. I'm not there yet because I got off to such a crappy start that I don't have the courage just yet. I want to kind of monitor it and see what happens. But we do have some NCAA basketball, Sean, to deal with. So college hoops yesterday. So far, I did 2 games. The halftime game worked. The full-time game didn't work by 1 bucket. So that kind of sucked. I hate when you lose by 1 bucket. But in any case. But it had to go to overtime to get there anyway, so they could have lost. I wasn't counting on that game right from the jump because it looked to me like Long Beach State was kind of struggling, and Idaho, like I said, they must have exactly 5 basketball players there. Anything in the college ranks tonight, Sean, that you're going to go ahead and do?
So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take Sacred Heart first half plus 9.5 against Providence. I just feel Providence isn't a team that's
Sacred Heart.
Yeah.
I mean,
the total for the game.
Where is Sacred Heart?
I don't know. I don't know.
Is that like a Catholic school in every city?
It might be.
Yeah.
The total for the game, 16.5. You get 9.5 for the first half. I feel like Providence isn't a team that's going to normally blow out too many people. And I think it'll be a close game at halftime.
You think it's going to be a close game at halftime? Okay, I have a halftime game too, Sean. I have South Carolina State. And they are playing against, oh, God, who are they? I know they're playing a big team. I forget who they're playing. Can you look it up really quick? Yeah. Let me, hold on a second. I have it right here in my Excel sheet.
There's a lot of games again.
Yeah, I did. I actually ran through all of them, too. So I only found a couple only one that I like. So it's South Carolina State. Oh, they're not playing. They're playing Charleston. Yeah. And I'm getting 11 to the half, Sean, for minus 105. And I think the total for the game is only like 19 or 20, something like that. So I'm getting a little bit more.
18.5. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. This first half bet, you actually get more. I mean, if you do 11, it should be 22, and it's only 18.5. So
yeah, so I got 11. And so that's what I'm getting, 11 at minus 105. So South Carolina State, I know they're in South Carolina, Sean. You don't know where you have no idea where Sacred Heart is.
No, I do not. Geographically, I am not.
It's got to be on the East Coast, I would guess, if they're playing Providence. I highly doubt Sacred Heart is flying in from California.
No, yeah, I don't think so. I would think it's on the – I will look it up real quick.
That doesn't matter. As long as all that matters is that they're within 9 at the break, Sean, right?
Yeah.
Where they're located, who cares? Just as long as they make 4 less
9.5,
baskets.
yes. Yep.
Indeed. All right. Anything else, Sean, that you're looking at tonight?
No, that's it.
Later on today, Sean and I will be on Horse Racing Radar TV over at YouTube, checking out a couple of races on Saturday over at Churchill Downs in Louisville, Kentucky. I know where that is, Sean. We have a special guest tonight. Who is she?
Caitlin Free. She does a lot of, if you follow her Twitter, she does a lot of things with horse racing. She's kind of a freelancer. She does a little bit of everything. So she'll be a really interesting guest and have a lot of good, and she's very opinionated too. So that'll be good.
That's good because that's what we need. Opinionated people. I've kind of held back on my opinionated because I don't want to be YouTube, I don't want to be cancel cultured by the cancel culture, Sean, on either side. You know what I'm saying?
So I was thinking like Boston maybe for Sacred Heart. It turns out Connecticut.
It's in Connecticut. So I figured East Coast somewhere. All right, Sean. So aside from the show tonight, anything else before we get up and out of here? So tomorrow we won't be back until like midnight, right?
Yeah, 10:30 p.m. Eastern. We'll do our NFL show.
Out of all your bets tonight, guys, what is your top bet? I only had 2. So what would be yours?
I'm going over in the Pittsburgh, North Carolina game.
Do you think over 72 is the
play right there? Is the play, yep.
Oof, I don't really know anything about South Carolina State other than they fit into the very well into the Excel sheet and what I'm doing there. The under in the Philadelphia Toronto game, I'm gonna put it. I'm gonna put it the top one with the South Carolina State just because it's over so fast. You're gonna know and have time to chase and do like the worst thing you can do as a gambler, as a degenerate, and that's chase.
Yeah, and we're 5-2 so far in this first half betting, so it's been a successful formula.
When you got a guy who comes on who flashes $20,000 in chips in an instant because he's betting, you can't turn that away, Sean. That's some good insight into good information.
Yeah, absolutely.
For sure. So I'm going to put it on South Carolina State as my top choice. I'm going to put it at 51% and the Philadelphia-Toronto game at 49%. All right, then, Sean. If folks want to follow along with us, what do they do?
Subscribe to the YouTube channel first and foremost, Facebook, Twitter, and then also go to the website and check out all the picks, check out any news. Also post whatever you want to post. Free to sign up.
Don't be shy.
Yeah, I mean,
get out there, put your opinions out there, be heard, because it's a complete free speech zone. You just can't do any kind of the stupid stuff that you know is stupid stuff.
Yeah, I mean, I guess we don't have community play today with Drew, since even you and I don't have anything we agree on. But we'll want to know on that. We'll put more of that together too. I mean, we'll listen to everybody's thoughts.
Indeed, for sure. All right, Sean, till we meet again in just a few hours over at Horse Racing Radar TV. For everybody, as our friend Carl Brobrick said, we hope that all of your bets stuff your pockets full of cash and that every single ticket tonight is a winner. We'll see you tomorrow night at 10 o'clock Eastern to go over week 10.
10:30.
10:30. Oh, yeah, you always keep changing things around.
No,
10:30. All right, 10:30 for the week 10 of the NFL. We'll see you then. Till then, have a fantastic Thursday night, everybody, especially at the book.